It's now time for the Coaches Show on News Talk 1250 KBRF and KBRFradio.com, presented by the Viking Cafe and brought to you by the Minnesota Motor Company, Lake Region Healthcare, Nelson Auto Center, Quality Toyota, and by Running Stitches. Now for the Coaches Show presented by the Viking Cafe, here's Craig Olson.
Good morning, everybody. I am Mark Johnson. Craig Olson is not here this morning, but we want to give a shout out to Craig and Sue. They're celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary. Nobody works harder than Craig Olson, and I'm joined by Derek Meyer, the cross-country coach for the Otters. And before we get to our interview, Derek, I want to remind our listeners that if you text in Viking to 321-1296, you'll be entered in for a drawing for a $25 gift certificate. So. 1926. You were born, David. No, I'm just kidding. So Viking to 321-1926. Viking Cafe is our sponsor. And I'm joined by Derek Meyer, head coach of the Fergus Falls boys cross country team. And Derek, let's talk about Little Falls, the meet in Little Falls, and also our meet in DL. Let's talk about DL first.
Okay.
Placed sixth in that one, and just talk about how that went for you guys.
DL is, this is two different types of, DL is a challenging course, lots of big hills that they have on their lakeside course. That day happened to be a chilly day, and we were greeted with rain with that cold. So that was just a big mental factor that kind of went into that. Things for our varsity groups kind of broke with the rain, but they had to wait around in those conditions. But it was a good chance to see some more section teams and get out there. I think Micah Mosier ended up taking our top spot for a varsity team that day, and then Sam Rasmussen was second through for us. But really we've been back and forth on it for those guys. So it was I think Sam took it for us when we went to Staples, and then we'll kind of fast forward to. In Little Falls, he came through too. So, it's good things that are happening for our group there, though. So, yeah.
And a lot of graduation last year, and you had 5 spots to fill. And Brody Nelson, Micah Mauser, and Sam, have they been your returner guys with a lot of experience?
Yep, those guys have been. Brody and Micah have been on varsity for 3 years, and Sam for 2. He's a little bit newer to cross country, but yeah, those are kind of the 3 that are the solid. And then we've got our, I think Dexter might have been, that was his first meet back. He missed the first one from a family vacation. And then Braden Haugen really turning it on. He put it on the summer miles, and it's really showing and highlighting of how his time went. And Lewis Leonard, another one. Young guy, 9th grader, putting on those summer miles, and just can't say it enough. When you put on those summer miles, it's gonna everything that you do in those summer is gonna show up being worth it for them. And I think that's what they were vying for, was a varsity spot, and really pushing it out for them.
It's really fun to see that, isn't it? Too, in athletics, and you being a track athlete in college too. What happens in the off season, and other days of the week are just as important as performance, isn't it?
Absolutely. And yeah, in the weight room too. The weight room is going to show up in their last mile. Is kind of what we kind of preach, and we definitely have some athletes to highlight for a lot of those little things that happen. And I'm not out there during the summer and cracking the whip or anything, and it shows to the testament of these guys on how dedicated they are to how many miles they put in, and when nobody's watching.
Now, you'll go back to Detroit Lakes, right, for the conference meet as well? So you get a run there again in mid-October?
Yeah, so it was a bigger field with that being, especially with the conference teams being there. But, yeah, you're right. We'll have the conference meet there, and we go there every year, so we're not too afraid of it. But I think some teams are they would rather go to something a little less challenging and propel their kids into faster times, but the challenge is what we're up for.
Talk about the Lucky Lindy Invitational as well. Another 6th place finish, so you're getting a lot of 6s here. So
Yeah, this was a 20-team field. It's always a bigger meet. We get a little bit more of a southern southern team showing, and we also had a team that comes every other year from California, Laguna Beach. So it's kind of fun to see something that's out of state and out of the ordinary. But this is usually a weird meet on how it's where it places. There's always some weather related things. We've had tornado warnings, super hot. So this was just a regular old meet, which is great. But it's at a flatter course. They've got one uphill, but very different to the terrain. Generally, when we talk to the kids, it's like, you're going to see some improvement from what you had at Detroit Lakes, just on course wise. But then we have a really good week of training, and I had some junior high kids that had a 4-minute improvement, and then some varsity kids that had 1 minute time drop, and some of the kids were just kind of the same, which is just kind of lots of variables on how that goes. But it was awesome. And Sam Rasmussen, like we talked, he came in first for us and first through for us. But he ended up cracking a new personal best, and he's on our he's the 18th for our all-time Otter boys list. So it was, and everybody was rocking and rolling. Micah Mosier, he was one of the guys who just kind of stayed steady. He was just not too far off from his personal best. But Brody Nelson, he dropped about 30 seconds of time. Dexter Fellstool, oh gosh, he's getting into his groove, but he lost his shoe about halfway through the race. He got stepped on. I saw him.
Kind of Herschel Walker type of deal. No.
Not quite, but he got stepped on. I saw it, but I think he must have got a little further down. He got stepped on again, lost his shoe, and then he communicated to me that he lost his shoe. I was just like, we're on a golf course. I think you'll be okay. I've had an athlete where their shoe comes untied, and then that one ended up being kind of in retrospect, he should have stopped and tied his shoe. But this one, shoe's gone. Nothing we can do about it. Just try to do your best, and just gave him a little, if it hurts, just stop. It's not worth it because we're so early in the season. Let's not get a silly little injury just to try to finish our race here. Even though we want to be competitive, we all want to be competitive in October, not right here. So
he's a competitor too, isn't he? All these
absolutely.
guys are. Yeah.
Every one of these guys are competitors, and a lot of these guys, and from my top three, they're young, so we're learning a lot about racing and pacing and where we want to be. But they're very cognitive of what we want to accomplish. We know that there's going to be stronger teams that are at this meet or that are out there, and we just want to try to find our place and make our push for the postseason. And we had Ricori on our mind for this one because we hadn't seen him head to head yet, and that was our big push. And a lot of guys kind of putting that pressure on, and they got the job done. So I think in my write up, I kind of said we've kind of taken those head to heads prior to Perm. Perm is a juggernaut. They've got a rock solid team, and they're looking to vie for the state championship. And and we're just gonna we're gonna run with them, but we know our role and where we're at and what our capabilities are. So we're looking for that number 2 spot and trying to get in and get some more postseason running.
How important was, these last couple of years with great success for the program, for these young guys and, like junior high, or people getting excited about running?
So important. I know that my 9th grade group right now coming in, trying to shoot for varsity spots, they were pushing themselves as 7th and 8th graders, getting, we kind of run our practices where we can kind of move in with those guys, and a lot of these guys that are stepping up on varsity, we're taking those opportunities to run with the Jaden Millers and the Henry Grenagles and, Logan Bradenbergs of last year that, would push them to where they are now. So kind of seeing that too with how I know how Perm runs their stuff too, is I think it just gives that opportunity to kind of perpetuate the wheel of getting to continually push your kids to what that next level is. So when you can just reload and for the next year.
How do you feel like you're sitting? It's early in the season, but it goes quick.
Yep.
You talked about Perham, but are you guys right in there in the 2-3 and
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And
Well, if we were to have the section meet with after this, we would be the number 2. Wilmer, Ricori, Detroit Lakes are, if we were to score this, they're 4 points behind. There's a 3-way tie for third place, and we're 14 points ahead of them. So we gotta, we're sitting in a good spot, but not enough to relax and just say, we can't go into this and lose anybody. We can't go into this and take a relaxed approach. We need to keep chopping wood and make improvement every day, every week. So we're going to go out today. We're going to run to Dalton.
You are awesome.
Yep.
That's where I live. So
Yep.
I'm a basketball, football, baseball player, but I started jogging. I haven't for a few years. That trail's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. So you're going to run to Dalton and back then, or?
No,
or
not
you
back.
picked up?
It's 10 miles from Fergus to Dalton. So we're gonna run on the Central Lakes Trail. Saturdays are our long days, and then we got a family that's gonna have some breakfast for us at out on 10 Mile, and then we'll bus the kids back to there. But so, yep, this is our big day, and it's a fun day too. So, yep,
Gotta love it. So you go to the Cold Spring to the meet coming up on Thursday this week, right? Yeah. What's that course like? And as we wrap up here,
that course is it's a pretty flat course. It's kind of on a river basin too, but it has a really unique finish with a gradual uphill, but you're definitely going to feel it after running 3 miles, and now you got to finish on there. But it's a generally pretty good course. It would probably be a little more challenging than the Little Falls course, but that'll go there. And then we also are going to have another meet on next Saturday that will be the Roy Griak. That's kind of a little state preview spot, and then hundreds of teams that'll be there. That'll be from the area, Wisconsin, Iowa, South Dakota, and all that. So, yeah, we had to be on a waiting list for that one. So it was exciting for us to be invited this year, and still have no idea when we're going to run. They're supposed to tell us this next week once I think they kind of get things finalized. But yeah,
all right,
exciting.
Well, great, and thanks for all you do for the kids. And I know Craig appreciates your articles and things. So Derek Meyer, head coach of the Fergus Falls boys cross country team. So thanks, Derek.
Yep, thanks, Mark.
All right, we're going to be back and come back as Viking Cafe sponsors our Coaches Show as it resumes. Don't forget, Viking to 321-1926 to get in for a drawing. We'll come back and we'll talk to Otter head coach Chris Grabowska. They had a 28-7 win last night over Becker.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Chevy Truck Month is back at Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls. To celebrate, customers can take advantage of finance offers like 2.9% APR, price reductions, trade assistance, customer cash, and more. Contact the sales team for information and visit the Minnesota Motor Company website to view their impressive inventory. Together, let's drive. Minnesota Motor. South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Lake Region Healthcare is proud to be trusted and recommended by parents and coaches, athletes, and families. Keeping healthcare close to home for local athletes and all their fans. Find us online at lrhc.org.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton, there's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls and Grand Forks.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number? I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
I look like an old guy. All right, we're back on the Coaches Show, brought to you by the Viking Cafe in downtown Fergus Falls. And don't forget to text 321-1926. And get yourself in for a drawing. $25 gift certificate. The bad thing is the host can't put his name in. You know, that's kind of. But we get free food too. But I'm joined by Chris Grabowski, head coach of the Fergus Falls Otters, and what a great night last night. You guys are 3-0 now, beating Wilmer 21-14, and then DL last Friday 28-14, and then a 28-7 win over a really good football program, the Becker Bulldogs. Talk about just last night in general.
Well, last night was a great atmosphere to start off. You know, we had the fire department coming in with the flag, and then Mid Motors with the free admission. It was great seeing all the people there last night. We had a lot of fans, I feel like, and it was just a great atmosphere, a beautiful night for football. And obviously you have the Bulldogs coming into town with the storied program, storied coach. But I was just really proud of how our kids kind of handled the whole week of preparation. It didn't seem to faze them, and they just put their heads down to the grinding wheel, and we just got to work all week, and we knew what we had to do going into this game, and we talked about, you know, when fear starts settling in, elevate. Mm-hmm. You know, we need to elevate ourselves and just remember to line up in the correct spot, know what our assignment is, and execute. And our kids, you know, did that, and it's really that simple when it comes down to it. You just got to be able to get lined up and play football, and I thought our kids did a great job of doing that last night.
You know, talking about the second possession we had, you know, Becker got the ball, punt 3-and-out. We were 3-and-out. They punted again. We got it our own 45. And it just seemed like from that point on, especially our guys in the trenches really made a statement. We ran the football right down the field. And then Talega, you know, that 6-yard run. But talk about that drive and how big that was.
Yeah, you know, I think first drive, we got a 3-and-out on them, and then they punted to us the first drive, and then we kind of moved the ball a little bit, and then we kind of stalled out and had to punt it back. So it's always, you know, you're kind of wondering, well, what's it gonna take on offense tonight? And I think our offense did a really good job of settling in that second drive, and our lines started taking over, and the few linemen that we have.
Yeah, so. Yeah. And you were without Isaac Mock last night, too.
Yeah, yep. He took a helmet to his leg last week on his calf, and he tried going last night in warm-ups. He just couldn't pull it off. So we sat him out, and hopefully we get him back soon. But I just love what I'm seeing from our linemen, the resilience, the hard work attitude on both sides of the ball. And they're just doing a great job for us this year. And, you know, opening up holes, stopping the run game on defense, and yeah, they're able. The work that they're putting in is enabling us to do what we do on both sides of the ball.
So 7-0 in the first quarter. We go to the second quarter, and it was kind of a similar type of defensive, you know, punts and back and forth. And then we go 69 yards, and then, you know, Caleb Franny had 3 TDs last week against DL. How great is it as a coach to have a guy like Caleb back there, and also Talega, different guys, and we'll talk about Caleb more towards the end of the game, but to have those guys like that.
Yeah, you know, Caleb, he's a special player. He's a workhorse on both sides of the ball. He's a force to be reckoned with on both sides of the ball. But it's just so fun watching him run the football. He never goes down on first contact. He's always fighting for extra yards. He has great vision and then great speed to turn it on when he needs to. So it's really nice to have that weapon in the backfield. And when you can run the football as a football team, I feel like we're going to win some games. And we were certainly able to do that last night. And then we get Fred back this week. It's really nice to have him. He's going to be a special player too. He's just kind of getting his feet under him right now. And it's nice to have guys like that, you know, we can future 2 backs, or maybe last night is more getting him in to give Caleb a break, but he's gonna see some more and more of the field once he starts understanding what he's doing out there.
All right. And at the end of the second quarter, Becker puts together, a drive, really their first sustainable drive. And talk about our defense. Shane Tilkey's got those guys playing well. And they get down, within seconds, down inside the 10, but we stop them on fourth down.
Oh, yeah. Coach Tilkey's great defensive mind. He always has those guys ready to play. And last night, our defense did a great job executing the game plan. I thought in DL week, we kind of gave up a little bit that we didn't want to on the defensive side of the ball. And we went back to the drawing board, fixed some things this week. And, our coaching staff on that side of the ball did a great job having those guys ready. But yeah, that we practice those situations in practice, offenses always practice 2-minute drill, right? So on the defensive side of the ball, we got to be ready for that as well. And, we gave up a couple plays. I thought on that drive when we had good coverage, they just made some plays. We didn't let it get to us. We didn't. We just kind of had the next play mentality, and we lined up and stopped them on fourth down. So that was great to see.
So 14-0 at the half. We go into the locker room and had to be feeling good about this, knowing that Becker's not going to roll over and die. But we get the kickoff and go 70 yards, and just to score and make it 21-0 at that point, that really puts the team on their heels, doesn't it?
Yeah, when you can go up, anytime you can go up 3 scores. 2 scores, I think, I feel pretty comfortable in that situation with our team. But anytime you can go up 3 scores, it really puts the pressure on the other teams, especially on their offensive side of the ball. They're going to have to start doing some more things, dig into their playbook a little bit, throw the ball a little bit more, kind of play into what our defense's strengths. So, that was huge going up there, 3 scores in that third quarter.
And that was a 4-yard TD pass to Isaiah Holmes. And then Becker gets a touchdown, and, they were open on this kind of that seam route, kind of a fly, and they did score a 78-yard touchdown pass. But we bounce right back in the fourth quarter. And I want to talk about that hit by Avius.
Yeah.
Fell in love. Clean hit, hard hit, ball comes out. Talk about that. And just our physicality seems to be really good. Mason Olin had some big hits. It just going right down the line.
Yeah, we made that a point of emphasis this year. We went into the season kind of understanding what we need to do. On the defensive side of the ball, that needs to be the cornerstone of our team this year. We need to be able to play defense and create turnovers and get the ball back for our offense. And then offensively, we need to control the ball, time of possession, be able to run the ball, and then pass when we need to. So I think our kids are buying into that. They're doing a great job of executing that kind of a mindset in our game plan. So love seeing those guys flying around. Coach Tilkey's got the defense flying around, and Avius made a big play. Created that turnover, gave our offense the ball back on the short field, and we were able to punch it in.
And then we score one more in the fourth, and just thinking about the game last night too, and Pee Wee Eston, and your receiving core, as well. Olin, Holmes, Micah Johnson caught the ball. Jacob Froning comes in, catches, gets a 14-yard pickup. One thing I was thinking about this morning too is that we haven't had hardly any drop balls. You know what I mean? And yards after the catch.
Yeah, we got a lot of receivers. We knew that going into the season that was going to be a position that we had a lot of depth at. So I guess if you drop a ball, you're going to be coming off the field. So I think they're really focused. They don't want to come off the field, and we just have a lot of playmakers in our skilled positions, and they're doing a great job making plays, executing with their assignments, and it's fun to see different kids catch the ball, like Jacob last night, and then Micah on that long pass. Yeah, that was fun, and you can't just really key in on one guy. You got to be able to be, assignment sound on defense going against our offense.
And then you talked about, Eston being the first sophomore you've ever started at quarterback. What is his completion percentage right now? It's got to be over 70%. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's between 70 and 75%, but he's just really calm back there. Nothing really rattles him, so he's got the right demeanor to play quarterback, and it's fun to coach that. You know, the moment's not going to be too big for him. If we have a bad play, he's able to move on. But he's just doing a great job distributing the football, letting his playmakers make plays, and then when he has his opportunity to make plays, he can do it too. So it's really fun to coach him, and he's getting better and better every week.
You know what's been interesting and amazing to watch about Pee Wee is, like an RPO or run pass option and throwing against his body. A few times, it was, I know these guys, my son is in the same age group. They'd play a lot at recess, but he'll fake the pass like he's going to, and then he'll run. And then the other thing is being able to, instead of running it, he's showing maturity. He said, I'm going to throw it 10 yards ahead to a wide open receiver.
Yep. And
then the other thing is those passes to Olson over the middle. You know what I mean? Be able to make those type of throws too.
Yeah, he first of all, he does a great job of keeping his eyes downfield. So that's something we really worked on at the start of the season. And he just wants to get the ball in his playmaker's hands, and he's doing a great job keeping his eyes downfield, finding the open receiver when he's scrambled. He's not always looking to run first.
Mm-hmm.
So he's always trying to get the ball into his receiver's hands first, and so that's great. And then, completing those passes over the middle, it takes accuracy. And that's something he possesses and does a great job with.
And in closing here too, talk about your linemen too. And I was thinking of Paulo Carrillo getting a chance. He maybe had one high snap all year. And then also talk about Josh Horgan. He's perfect in extra points. He had a touchback last night too.
Yes, he did. Well, we kind of touched on our line a little bit, but last year we had all senior linemen, and these linemen coming up, it's their turn. That's the kind of mindset that they went into the offseason. It's our turn. We got to be ready. So they're just getting the job done. And it's fun to see kids like Paulo, a guy that, you don't know if he's going to be able to, step on the field on a Friday night when he first enters the program. And he's put in the work and the time, and he's made himself better. So it's fun to see those success stories. And I feel like we got a few of those on our offense and defensive lines. So fun to see that. And then Josh, he's doing an awesome job.
He's a gamer.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember the last time I've had a field goal or a PAT kicker who's been perfect through 3 games. And it's just, he's doing a great job for us. And then he had that touchback. He's just getting better and better each week and gaining more confidence. So who knows? Maybe we'll get a field goal or 2 out of him or down the road as well. So that'll be fun.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Chris. Next week, a very good Zimmerman team comes in for homecoming. Looking forward to that one. We'll have that one on the air and also streamed on YouTube channel and KBRF Sports. So thanks a lot. Don't forget to grab your breakfast compliments of the Viking Cafe. Did you already eat?
I did.
Hey, save some for Dave and I. But remember, you can text for a gift certificate 321-1926. We'll come back and talk swimming and diving with Rachel Cox.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Chevy Truck Month is back at Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls. To celebrate, customers can take advantage of finance offers like 2.9% APR, price reductions, trade assistance, customer cash, and more. Contact the sales team for information and visit the Minnesota Motor Company website to view their impressive inventory. Together, let's drive. Minnesota Motor. South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Lake Region Healthcare is proud to be trusted and recommended by parents and coaches, athletes, and families. Keeping healthcare close to home for local athletes and all their fans. Find us online at lrhc.org.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands: Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton. There's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls, and Grand Forks.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
We're back. The Coaches Show brought to you by the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls. I got my Viking Cafe mug. I'm joined by Rachel Cox. She is the girls swimming and diving coach. And don't forget to get your breakfast before you leave, too. I had to drive over here with 8 breakfast meals in my car, and I made it without stopping to eat. So, all right. So, Rachel, it's good to talk some swimming and diving. And you guys were down in Alexandria. And talk about that one. You beat the Cardinals 112-74. Estee Versieg, a big night. Ella Kopinski and Olivia Jensen. But talk about that meet.
It's always fun to swim against Alexandria. You know, that rivalry. It is friendly on the swimming deck. I will say that. They've got a great coaching staff. They've got a great bunch of girls. But it's always fun to swim against those local teams. You have a big crowd. Alex came out really strong with their 200 medley relay, but our swimmers just kind of fought back in every individual race. They had an amazing night against Alexandria.
That's awesome. Talk about Estee, Versteeg, and just the ability that she has as well, and just the way she's just kind of wired for swimming too. Absolutely.
I know I can put Estee anywhere in my lineup. I mean, she is going to be hard for any opponent to beat in any one of those races. So I always go to her. I'm like, I think for Alexandria, I think I had her in the 200 IM. I was like, I need your 200 IM time. She's like, okay, let's go for it. But this year has been especially good for her. She has been creating personal records in pretty much everything she's swimming. She'll get out, that was personal best. Get out the next time, same race, dropping more time. So she started the season very strong. She came in shape, ready to go, and she just remains to be that way.
Someone like Estee too, and these other swimmers too, but pretty high ceiling too, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I keep telling these girls. I've been pushing them a little bit harder in practice. Last year we had a interesting situation where it was Estee came up to me about 2/3 of the way through the season and just said, Coach, I need more. I need harder practices. Like, I just want to grow more. So I told her lane mates that she practices with, we're going to add a little bit more to Estee's plate. And they're like, well, we want more too then. And then the rest of the pool all wanted it. So I thought, well, we can start stronger. I knew where I was going to go with these girls. So we've started stronger. Keep telling them I'm going to push you past that comfort zone because that's where you're going to grow. And they're all stepping up, but Estee is especially having a great year.
As a coach, you're loving that too,
Absolutely.
aren't you? Yeah. And then Kopinski finished first in the 50 freestyle and the 100 breaststroke. Talk about her racing.
Yeah, absolutely. Ella is another one of those swimmers. She is strong in every stroke. She's a great IM swimmer. She'll tell you she doesn't want to swim it, but she does. Yeah. She's great at it. But yeah, the breaststroke, she is really hitting that strong this year, and she's a fantastic sprinter. So in that 50 free, but then I also know where I've got her when I put her in relays. Like, she's great for that leadoff leg is where she's been in the 200 free relay and the 400 free relay. So the sprints are a strong suit for her, but she's another one that's really versatile and can swim anywhere.
And then a couple of first place finishes in the 200 and 500 freestyle by Olivia Jensen.
Yeah, absolutely. So Olivia started swimming those races last year. Before that, she was swimming a lot of breaststroke. We were still trying to find a good spot for her. But she really came to play in the 200 and 500. She finished the season last year really strong at sections. I believe she was third place finish in the 200 free last year, and the top two make it to state. So hopefully she can keep growing in those events and then see a state bid this year. That would be amazing.
Talk about your relay teams too right now and just where you see the strengths in your relays.
Sure. Right now, we have come on really strong in those freestyle relays. So our 200 free relay, a lot of new kids in it. We had 9 seniors graduate last year, one diver and 8 swimmers, and a lot of them were sprinters that filled a lot of those relay positions. So we've had to mix it up, put some new people in there, but we have had some really strong freestyle relays.
That's awesome. And diving, you get a first place in diving too. Talk about the diving.
Yeah, so we have a new diving coach this year. Our previous diving coach, Sheener, has been moved. So we have a new coach, Megan Schertzing. And so she's been working with these girls, teaching them some new things. And Ciamara Jacobson is really having a great season. She's starting off very strong. First place finish in against Alexandria, and then a second place finish against Sartell, but a personal best by, I think it was about 40 points.
Oh,
when
wow.
I was looking at her 6-dive list from last year to this year, that 200, it was 203, I think, in Sartell. So besting herself at 40 points, that's huge. Yeah.
That's awesome. So a nice win against Alexandria. And then you go and take on Sartell, and they're a perennial power, aren't they? And losing 108 to 76. But just talk about that meet and some
Absolutely. So we went to Sartell, and Sartell is huge. I mean, they just have numbers that their team is more than twice the size of ours. So that just makes it tough. I mean, you have a really deep bench that way. But I go into a meet like Sartell knowing, okay, we're probably not going to outswim them in every event. That's where I like to switch up my lineup and say, who's got something I haven't seen before? Because it just gives me a little bit more freedom to do that, just mix up the lineup. So the fact that most of my girls were not swimming races that they typically swim, and we still held our own against Sartell, I was really happy with the outcome.
Yeah. So in that, kind of, some of the same things, Versteeg took first in the 200 and the 500 freestyles, finished the 200 with a career best. You talked about that. And then Jacobson, that second place, it's pretty awesome. But where do you think you're at right now? The season's early.
Yeah.
But are you exceeding your expectations right now, or what are you thinking so far?
Yeah. We've had to face our 2 toughest competitors in the conference already. So Brainerd, Sartell, powerhouses. So I'm glad those 2 meets are out of the way.
Yeah.
That's great. Honestly, I did not know what to expect this season. Like I said, we graduated 9 seniors, so that was a huge hit to our overall numbers. So I was a little bit worried, like, where are we going to stack up? We're just a little bit smaller. I don't have that depth on the bench, but I have found that with this smaller group, I thought I would be more restricted in my lineups. It's been the opposite. I feel like I have a little bit more freedom. And all of the girls that I have on the team right now are great at filling in wherever they need to be. I don't have to worry like, oh, this kid really can only do
versatile,
sprints.
very versatile.
Yeah, so they're all versatile, and it's been really good. This team has trained really hard. Like I said, I started them at a kind of a higher starting point. We have a lot of 9th graders this year, and they are really hungry to do well. So they show up, they swim every yard. They just want to improve. So with 9th graders, it's just building a little bit more strength, building some consistency in their times, and that just comes with experience and time. But I think we've started better than I could have anticipated, just with a lot of unknowns. And I think we are going to end up really strong in our section this year.
That's awesome. What is just from a curiosity point, what summers look like, for training as far as your involvement with the team in the summers?
Sure. A lot of our kids do flyers, the club swimming. I don't coach flyers anymore.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I gave that up when I took on the head coaching position for the high school. But that's just a great way for them to stay in shape. But the great thing about a lot of our swimmers is they are multi-sport athletes. And I think that cross-training is invaluable. Like Estee, for example, is a big runner as well. She also does cross-country skiing. Ella plays basketball in the winter. We've got kids in softball. So I really encourage them to just be good athletes. I think that adds a lot. If you concentrate only on swimming, sometimes you end up with the shoulder injuries, those types of things. So that's a little bit what they're doing in the off season. I'll typically open up the pool for some open workouts on Friday mornings. But yeah, we have some good overall athletes.
Yeah. What's ahead next for you guys? Just looking ahead, you got Ricori coming up on Thursday, and then the Fergus Falls multiple schools for a meet here. Talk about those 2 things. Yeah.
Sure. On Thursday, we're seeing Ricori. I was just putting together the end of the lineup this morning before I got here. Rocori is going to be a good meet. Last year when we saw Rocori, we ended up winning by 2 points only. It came down to the 400 free relay. Our A relay took first place, and then our B relay was battling it out with their A relay. We ended up out touching and won the meet by 2 points, and it would have swung the other way had they out touched us. So I think Rocori probably wants another shot at us, but I think we have really good odds against Rocori on Thursday. We'll just see. And then Saturday is our Otter invite. So we have a few teams from our section that are coming. So we'll see what that brings. But I do like the invite in that we get to see teams from the section that we don't often swim against because we have a lot of conference play during the season. Yeah.
Talk about where you think you might land in the section. Like right now, where do you feel you're at right now?
We're positioned really well so far. We've had a duel against Detroit Lakes, who is in our section. It was a close meet. DL's really strong this year. When we finished up that meet, the coach said to me, "I wish we were seeing you later in the year." I said, "I bet you do."
Yeah.
So we're really closely matched with DL, I believe. Park Rapids is always a powerhouse, so that's a team we don't see during the year except for True Team and sections, and their coaches always full of surprises. But I think that we still have a top spot in our section overall, but it's good. It's a tough section this year.
Yeah, and we talk about this with other coaches too. But competing in the CLC really makes you ready for your section, doesn't it?
It really does. I mean, and our girls know that too. Like, we have to see really hard competition throughout the season, and wanting to do well in those meets means that we don't have the luxury that some of the some other teams have with not having to face your Sartels and your Brainerd and that type of thing.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So Rachel, we have these great hats.
All right.
I don't know if you're a hat person, but they're awesome. Running Stitches Embroidery. Handing them out, so there's a hat, and I'm so glad you could be here and talk to me. Craig and his wife are celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary.
Yeah,
so
congratulations to them.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I was thinking about that this morning. It's hard to find two nicer people. I've known them for a number of years, but great having you on. Thanks a lot, Rachel.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, Rachel Cox, Fergus Falls girls swimming and diving coach. Don't forget, if you text Viking to 321-1926. I joked about that with Dave Bishop the year he was born. But anyhow, you enter yourself in a chance to win a $25 gift certificate from the Viking Cafe. I'm enjoying some coffee in a Viking Cafe mug and enjoy the biscuits and gravy. Excuse me. So, all right, we'll come back with more. We'll talk to Debbie Foss, the girls volleyball coach at Hillcrest.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Chevy Truck Month is back at Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls. To celebrate, customers can take advantage of finance offers like 2.9% APR, price reductions, trade assistance, customer cash, and more. Contact the sales team for information and visit the Minnesota Motor Company website to view their impressive inventory. Together, let's drive. Minnesota Motor. South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Lake Region Healthcare is proud to be trusted and recommended by parents and coaches, athletes, and families. Keeping healthcare close to home for local athletes and all their fans. Find us online at lrhc.org.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton. There's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls and Grand Forks.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
All right. And we're back here on the Coaches Show, which is brought to you by the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls. And again, you can win a $25 gift certificate. There'll be a drawing at the end of the show. Text keyword Viking to 321-1926. I'm joined by Debbie Foss, head coach of the Hillcrest Lutheran Academy volleyball team. And you guys have been busy.
Yes. We kind of had a slow start to the season with no games that first, that week in August. And then we've just kind of hit the ground running with tough competition. And it's like everything's kind of starting to fall into place. It feels really good.
Yeah. So let's go back. So last Saturday, the Pelican Rapids tournament.
Yep.
You played Breckenridge. You lost to them. Then you beat Pelican Rapids and Battle Lake and Rosse. And then you faced Battle Lake again. But talk about that tournament.
Yep. It's a good tournament because it's you just kind of play. So you have to have a little bit of endurance going into it and just kind of a mental set for the day. We're fortunate to have, obviously Breckenridge is our toughest competitor in that, and then Battle Lake as well. And so we played them right off the bat. Breckenridge, we were right in it. It's just like you miss a serve here, too many kills out of bounds, different things. So, like, we're right there. So I go, because we'll probably could run into them again, either at the MEA Blocktoberfest here in Fergus at that tournament or in playoffs. And so, we'd already seen them in a scrimmage, two different scrimmages. And so, like, we know and they know. So it's a friendly competition between us two coaches. But then to play Breck, we were, because they're hitting the ball well, too, from Battle Lake. And so, but it was good to come out on top of that one, too. And then we turned around and played them Tuesday. And Tuesday, we just ran our game plan. Like, we knew what we wanted to do, and our girls just executed really well. And so we just kind of stayed locked in. And so it was great to see the girls respond to that, too. So,
in the tournament at Pelican Rapids, looking at these serving numbers.
Yeah.
And 93.8%. And then Chloe Walkup, 44 for 44.
Yes.
Can you remember a run like that of serving? I mean,
no, I'd have to go back and look, because that means you're keeping the serve at different points. I think Kenzie Miller also last Saturday had some good runs. And so that's always the key in your rotation. If you can have a server that will keep rotation, that's part of it too. Like getting the ball down on their side, but you have to serve well. Stella Moline's also been serving really well for us. We're trying to encourage them to up their ace, the number of ace serves. So you need that balance too. Elsa Retzloff and Ella Knudsen are they're going to go after you. They're going to go hard, jump serving and so forth. So you need that balance too in a team. And then, okay, are we up or are we down? And so we talk about those different strategies and so forth. So
Ella had 9. Elsa had 9 aces. Ella had 7.
Yep.
But I've been watching a lot of volleyball too with our daughter playing, and there's always that fine line, isn't it?
Yes.
And some people can, really serve aces, or even not necessarily a hard serve, but finding a soft spot in the D.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say Elsa plays around with the serve a little bit, and she'll try to go super short. And then sometimes you just are too short and you hit the net and it bounces back to our side. So, but we're at the point of the season, you have to be working on that kind of stuff because that can make the difference, later in the season and in playoffs, and you have those serves and you're very comfortable with taking risks. And that's what we want the girls to be at. So it's good.
In the tournament there, Kenzie Miller, 24 kills, Knudsen, 29, Elsa, 22, and you just go right down the line. But have you been really strong at the net? Pretty strong there?
Yes. I mean, we have some height, and so that helps. But we just have Ella Knudsen's just been locked in on hers. Just we say, okay, these are the zones we want you to go to. And she's just focused in and locked in and able to do that. And she's just strong. She's been playing a lot of sports for a lot of years. And so this is her time to really shine. It's really nice to see, because she's a phenomenal basketball player, but it's really nice to see her step up and lead as one of the co-captains this year, and just been so proud of her that way. She's also super good in the back row. She just uses her defensive shuffle from basketball to get to the ball and can just keep the ball calm that way. like at the net, to Kenzie Miller too. She's just been setting the tone like early in the game. She's 6'1", and so really long reach, and she's just gotten more comfortable. It's just fun to see her use her height. You know, as short people, we know we don't have that, so it's just fun to see her take off on that. So it's good.
You know, with that too, defensively, who's been playing very strong defensively?
Yep. Elsa Retzlaff usually tends to lead, and I think some of it's just the rotation where she's at on defense, but she's just super scrappy. Chloe Walkup, our libero, she's just calm and solid, and that's just kind of been her demeanor for the last 3 years, and so we appreciate that, and just her willingness to flip her bases for depending on the rotation. But she's been picking that up, and then our setters are, you know, they're coming in at a 6'2", so it's different for them, it's different for us, but they're learning their defensive piece in the game too, and so it's just fun to see that. Ella, I already mentioned, is you know, also a big key in our back row, so it's really fun to see that.
So you play Battle Lake up in Pelican, and then you turn around and play them again, and you sweep them 3 games to nothing. 25-19, 25-20, 25-19. So
I think we just got them out of their game pretty quick. Obviously, they want to get it to Kennedy Cameron, and by keeping them out of system, trying to, you know, us attack their back row, that helped with that. And then we just ran our game plan, what we wanted to do, and those seniors just led really well that night. Kenzie was like a super catalyst right from the beginning, and then the others just kind of came along and started hitting. I think Elsa too, like she just, like when Elsa gets locked in, she just like goes, and then like, we need you to go over here, Elsa. Okay, you know, so she's working on all of that stuff. So it's fun.
You know, that's huge too. You know, sometimes people just wind up and swing.
Yes.
But hitting to a spot, and that really opens up the game, doesn't it?
Yes. Like you see, so we have a lot of younger girls that are sitting for varsity but playing JV, and like they can hit the ball, and so the learning curve for them right now is that I don't always need to do that. I need to see the court and be able to get to there, and I think, like a Kenzie Miller, that's really where her game has developed in the last year, that she's able to not just go up for the one and come down, but she can like shoot it to the corners or the edges or whatever. So it's good.
Yeah, you want the monster hit, but sometimes you just got to find the court. That's right.
Yeah, and sometimes we do have to tell her, like, just hit the ball.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Swing away.
Yes.
In that game, Miller had 13 kills, 2 aces, 3 digs, 2 blocks. Just balanced attack. That's got to be fun.
Yeah, and it's fun to see. So on our right side, we have Maddie Miller, who, you know, was playing DS for us. We've moved her to a right side, and so she's kind of played every position in our program through JO and different things. And so it's like, I think that's just coming to benefit her now. She's working hard on getting different options for her, because sometimes you can have a big block over there because it's their outside hitter or whatever. And then Avea Stender, our other middle, like, so she's just been coming along too, like, you know, again, making those decisions. You can't swing hard every time. Sometimes you just got to put the ball down, and her blocking's really been good too. So it's like, it's just so fun to see all of them work together. And if someone's off a little bit, someone else is coming through. So that's awesome.
That's awesome. You go down, you play Hancock then, and another sweep, 25-8, 25-23, a tight game, and then 25-13.
Yes. Again, we expected a much more competitive game. Super hot gym. It was so hot in there. Yeah. And so we came in, and then again, Kenzie Miller just put it down right away. And then their big outside, she just kind of had a few misses, and I think they just got off a little bit. In the second game, like, we struggled a little bit, like, because I think it was so hot, and we were like, okay, drink water, and just like, okay, we got to stay focused, and that's a part of volleyball, like that mental game of like, stay locked in, and like, okay, they're starting to get a few blocks on us. Okay, what can we do differently now? Or okay, nope, we have to get the pass out so we can run this. So, but we executed that well, so that was good.
That's awesome.
Yep.
As far as blocking, you know, coverage, and also I think about passing too, but how's that been for you guys?
So our blocking, I mean, obviously we have the height, but there's more to it than that. Like, the middles have to get out, the right sides and outsides have to set the block. And so we actually were working on that yesterday. You know, that yes, you're tall, but you still have to get up and push the ball back over, and timing, and then working together to close that block, and what does that mean? And then you still have to find the ball.
Yeah.
So there's just like we've been on a little learning curve with that, but we're coming along with that. So that's really fun to see. And then, when you go up a team that blocks well, so Battle Lake blocked well, Breckenridge blocks well, all the different teams are going to play Barnesville on Monday. So we know we have to cover our hitters. And so even that learning curve, we worked on it last year, but coming into this year, okay, new group of people, different setters, okay, this is why it's important. And so that's been so much cleaner this year, and just have appreciated that work.
Yeah. That tip, even if you don't get the block, is massive, isn't it?
Yes.
For your defense, just getting that first touch on the ball.
And everybody, all players are just getting so good at disguising it, and you can throw it and all the stuff. So you for defense, you got to be set. And when we're not, we're like, you weren't set. It's pretty easy to see. So they can get to it. So yeah.
So you got Barnesville coming up, and then talk about the section too.
Yeah. So it's unique this year. They went from, we used to be a north and a south section. Now we're one big one. So what does that look like? But it's still pretty much the same teams. Pelican jumped in to our section now because they dropped a class. But Breckenridge is at the top. BBE, which nobody plays them really because they're they're like the odd one out. Kind of, we don't know a ton about them because we don't get to see them. They're not on Craig Olson Sports. All that stuff. And so, and then CGB in our conference, we're like, okay, they're undefeated, I think, or have one loss or something. So they're playing on strong, but it's also their last season as CGB. So we recognize that, they're fighting for something bigger. And so, we recognize that. So we'll play them in a couple weeks for homecoming. Parker's Prairie. Yep. We know they're strong. They got some seniors that have come up through the program, including Amy's daughter. So we're aware of those things. And so again, it's just, being ready for them, but then being able to do what we need to do and set the tone.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How fun is this for you to be coaching? You're giving a lot to the program.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
I just enjoy it so much. You just invest so much time into making all the pieces work. Okay, are they? Do they need food? Let's get them food. Those little things. But just seeing the joy and seeing them have the progress, seeing our setters pick up on their defense now and yep, I have to do it. Okay, we need to run this. Can we run this? Yes, because they both played JV and C squad last year. So they had big shoes to fill when we lost Ruby Peterson. So it's just fun. And then I think equally rewarding is just the growth that's coming on our JV. There's just a lot of stuff happening there too, and you're just yes, it's just fun. And I don't, they always celebrate on the court, and we're celebrating here. And I don't know if they ever see that, but we just try to tell them we're so proud of you and the way that you're playing, and happy with each other.
Yeah,
and coming alongside, and just you want that knit to get tighter and tighter. So that's pretty cool.
Well, that's awesome.
Yep.
Well, great talking to you, Debbie, as always.
Thank you.
I appreciate what you're doing with the kids. And there's more than volleyball, about life, right? I mean, there's so many things.
Yeah. Our theme this year is ripple effect. And so you were okay, but if you throw a rock into the water, it ripples, but you also have to have a rock in your hand to be able to willing to do something. And so things going on in the country cause ripples too. And so that's just, we talk about that with the kids, and just there's things going on. And so you want to be a positive ripple. You want the Lord to use you in all that you do.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's awesome.
Yep.
Well, thanks, Debbie. Appreciate it.
Yep.
And
thank you.
Yeah, make sure you grab some biscuits and gravy when you head out. So
sounds good.
And again, for those watching, if you text 321-1926, you're eligible for a $25 Viking Cafe gift certificate. You ever been there before?
Yes.
I know.
Great spot.
All right. We're going to move on here. And thanks again, Debbie. And we're going to talk to Joel Heikus after this break.
Yeah.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Chevy Truck Month is back at Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls. To celebrate, customers can take advantage of finance offers like 2.9% APR, price reductions, trade assistance, customer cash, and more. Contact the sales team for information and visit the Minnesota Motor Company website to view their impressive inventory. Together, let's drive. Minnesota Motor. South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Lake Region Healthcare is proud to be trusted and recommended by parents and coaches, athletes, and families. Keeping healthcare close to home for local athletes and all their fans. Find us online at lrhc.org.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton. There's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls and Grand Forks.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Welcome back to the Coaches Show, brought to you by the Viking Cafe in downtown Fergus Falls. I'm joined by Joel Heikus, head soccer coach of the Otters. And Joel, it's good to talk to you. And you guys played last Saturday against Cathedral. So, yeah, we know what they bring, but lost 5-1. But let's dive into that game a little bit first here. And they got a tremendous player in Jacob Oliver, don't they?
Yeah, he's pretty impressive. And they always bring a good team, all the way up and down. But, yeah, we had a great first half. We knew we were going to have to play a good defensive game, and we did. Held them to 0-0 to, I think it was 27 seconds to the half. And then
yeah.
Yeah, and then Jacob took a shot that was just incredible. We didn't really make a mistake. It was an incredible shot. So even going into the half, we're feeling pretty good. It was didn't feel like we lost much momentum. But then we come out in the second half and made a couple defensive mistakes, and they're a team you can't do that on, and they just capitalized. So, looking back at that game, I would say our team put out a tremendous effort, and there was 2 goals that maybe shouldn't have happened, but they're a good team,
Yeah.
So it was fun to play them, fun to see what they can do, and it's fun to see how we could compete against them. And playing good quality teams is always a good thing. It always makes you better. So
yeah, and and even going to that game, taking that half of 1-0, could have been 0-0 easily. And you can point back to those mile markers too, can't you?
Absolutely. Yep. You go back to film and look at a few things, and build off of what was working. And I felt we performed pretty well in that game. Yep.
And Josh Horgan got your only goal in that one, and off a pass from Marshall Feldbaum. But I did the football game last night, and do you know that you've done a good job with Josh too? He has not missed an extra point.
No, he hasn't. And that's kind of a toss-up. You're always a little nervous about that, because it's a different style of kick.
It is,
and some kids can, when they're on the soccer field, they can really control how that soccer kick goes, and then the football field. But it takes extra practice. He's been working hard, and it was a fun one. We always like set play goals, and that was a goal basically off a corner kick.
Okay, yeah.
Marshall taking the corner kick, and then he sent it out to Josh, and it's always nice to get those set play goals. We work a lot on them.
Yeah, that's for sure. Hey, I'm curious about this. When Coach Grabowski comes and says, "Hey, Joel, who do you think could kick for us?" Or how does that process go? I'm just kind of curious, because we had a lot of great soccer players kick.
Yeah, yeah. And usually the student initiated, the kid will come to me or whatever and say, I'm thinking about this. You think it's a good fit? And then, Coach Chris and I, we talk, and usually it ends up good. This one, Josh came on late this year. There was a couple guys kind of looking at it and thinking, I think I want to do it. And then pretty late, decided, no, I really want to focus on soccer. And so that was a little tricky. We weren't sure how that was going to work, but boy, Josh, he's been doing well. His kickoffs too. I mean,
he had a touchback last night. We talked about that. So
very impressive.
So then you take on Alexandria, and they got 1 goal in each half. But again, a really good defensive effort, and Aiden Godwin stopped 9 of 11 shots. But talk about that game against Alex.
Yeah, that was that one was a little harder to lose because we, like you say, I think they had 11 shots on goal. We had 8 or 9. So we had offense in that game too. We just and so close so many times. I mean, there was at least once or twice it was out in front of the net, kind of wide open, and the ball just wouldn't bounce right for us. So we're good. We were a good matchup with Alec. We don't see them again, but I'd love to because I think it certainly could have gone the other way in that game as well. So they're too. Proud of the work the guys put in, and not any single thing you can point to. It's just we had a lot of opportunities, and that was a game we worked on set plays because I think we had 8 corner kicks in that game. Too.
Yeah. What are you looking for? How many would you like to see in a game? Because you're putting pressure on. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
Oh, I'd like to see as many as we can.
Yeah.
Like I said, throughout this year, we've been scoring on a high percentage of our corner kicks. Not that game, obviously, but I love the opportunity to have a corner kick. So it's really nice when you get down there and you get to set it up. And like I said, you should be capitalizing on a few of them. And that game we just couldn't. And they were aggressive. I will say that about Alec. They were really aggressive in the box. They're a pretty defensive team. They really let us kind of control the mid. But once you got putting pressure on, boy, they packed it in. We had, I think that was a corner kick too, where the ball was just it bounced out of the goalie's hand and kind of sitting there in front, but they had a line of 4 defenders between that goal and that ball, like right now. So you got to give props to them too. They really step up defensively. So yeah,
I don't know if people realize how physical soccer is. You know what I mean? You don't have any equipment other than shin guards.
Yep.
You know, but especially corner kicks, you get inside the box. But
people are
there's a
going
fine
up for
line
headers
too, isn't it? Yeah, that's a fine line, isn't it? How to play physically.
Oh yeah, soccer's an extremely physical game. You're hitting each other pretty hard, and then like you say, there's that fine line. You got to you can't have your arms out and be shoving, but you're shoulder to shoulder, and yeah, it's you get banged up for sure.
Yeah. And then you go and have a nice 3-1 win over Sauk Rapids Rice. Beja Gustav with 2 goals, Parker Cantrud with his first goal of the year. But that was a nice CLC win for you guys on the road.
Great CLC win. And that was, I mean, shout out to our defense. Our defense rocked that game. I mean, we scored 3 goals. We had offense too. I mean, team up and down. But Sauk came out second half and really put the pressure on. And my goodness, Alec Prishman, I don't know, probably 8 beautiful slide tackles. Quinwin Sheldon, I think they think because of his size, he's not going to keep up with him. He ran down at least 3 or 4 breakaways that would have been, and he just caught him and cut him off. And then Noah Schlosser played really good on the outside there. And then
Coulter
McGinnis and Joseph Hikes have kind of been splitting the time on the other side, and they both played super solid when they were out there. So it was, that was, I said after the game, I said, you guys thank your defense. They rocked here. So fun game, and it was really fun to get Beja back into the scoring column.
Yeah,
he's excited about that, and Parker too. Man, he works game in and game out, and he does. He's in that mid where he might not get all the goals, but he's a big part of the team. So for him to be rewarded with a goal was a lot of fun too.
Yeah, you got to be pumped about the defense too. You know what I mean? Because it takes a little pressure off your goaltender. And, great teams are built from that way out, but it's great.
And I should mention Aiden, too. He had a couple pretty great saves in that game. But, the defense really, really helped. Yep.
Yeah, was this a kind of you look back on, it's a young season so far, but a good confidence booster for your team?
Oh, for sure. And the CLC's been kind of funny this year because it's like you look at the wins and losses, Ricori beat Alec. And then we come out and beat Ricori, and now coming up, we got Sartell in a little bit, and Alec beat Sartell, but it's just kind of, I mean, it's anybody's game right now. It's sometimes you go into CLC and these big teams, and it's like, ooh, I don't know how we're going to do against them. But this year, it's pretty even. So
Yeah.
it's kind of fun every game in and out.
You know, we talk about this a lot, and I'll talk about it again, but playing in the CLC really gets you ready for the sections too.
Absolutely.
And there's some changes in soccer too with classes too, isn't there? You know,
Yep. We got bumped up a class.
Yeah.
Alec got bumped a class, so they're not in our class anymore, and Sartell got bumped down, so they're in ours. Yeah, it did a lot of changes last year.
Yeah. Where do you feel your team is at? After what do you guys after 8 games? Where do you feel you're at?
Exactly midway through. I feel we're good. I feel we're growing and building. We started the first 3 games. I'd say we started pretty slow. Didn't quite have things figured out, but yeah, you talk about confidence boosters. We go into a hard battle like that with Sauk Rapids and come out with a win. Makes it a lot easier now going in against Wilmer on Tuesday, and to have that confidence and have that, know for a fact, hey, this is our game to take. So,
yep. And when you win a game, you practice different too, doesn't it? Or you know what I mean? There's just a lot of intangibles, as a coach and as a player, isn't it like that?
Absolutely, there's an entirely different energy. Yep.
Yeah. In our section, let's talk about that. Who do you see, including the Otters, just being really strong, and just talk about the section too.
So in our section, I think Tech is, I mean, the way it looks anyway, with wins and losses, Tech is right up there. Of course, Apollo, Wilmer, they're always going to be strong teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'd say the Otters are right in there. I mean, we're gonna find out, because I think Wilmer will be that'll be a good challenge on Tuesday, and that'll kind of really tell us kind of where we're at.
Where you're at this time of year, yeah.
Yep.
What are some areas of emphasis right now for your team as far as things you want to keep improving on? Just
possession and ball control. Our speed is pretty good, but what we've really been looking at is making smart decisions, using your passes well to spread their defense out and give us opportunities. We tend to get, and this is kind of a USA soccer thing, we tend to get that goal in mind and think we just got to go forward. When there's 4 guys ahead of you, let's pass back. Let's maybe switch it to the other side, open things up, and then go get an easy one, instead of trying to pound that in there and always going for the forward. So, and everybody in our lineup is pretty good at ball control, and you can, for the most part, you can pass it to them and be sure they're gonna control it. So that's the big emphasis, is controlling that center third, and just don't get in such a hurry. Most soccer games are 1, 2 to 3 game
methodical
score games.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's building up, and don't take those low percentage shots. Control the ball, and the more you control the ball, the more you tire out their defense, and their whole team. So, because they're going to be chasing. So that's the big emphasis for us right now.
And one other exciting thing I think you mentioned in your article on CLSports.com was having 2 JV games.
Yeah.
The first time in many years.
Oh, many years. I don't know when the last time was, and that's we're right at that number where it's difficult to do, but if you don't do it, then there's a fair number of kids that aren't getting the minutes you want them to get, because you
got to play.
You got to play to get better. Practice is one thing, but you got to have that game time. So we're stretching it a little bit, but we're making it work. And the way the 7th and 8th grade numbers are, I think we might be able to do this for the ongoing future. Hopefully, if the numbers hold, it's because they're, again, being in the CLC. There's a lot of teams that have JV1, JV2, even JV3. Some of them. I think Jeff and Wilmer was telling me they've got 72 kids out, I think, from 9-12.
Well,
so they want teams to play.
Yep.
So yeah, it's I think it's going to be really a good thing.
All right. Appreciate it, Joel, so much. And it's fun to talk some soccer, and
absolutely.
Good luck to you guys down the road here.
Yeah.
And,
well, thanks for filling in, and congratulations to Craig. Wow, that's an amazing 50 years. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Not a lot of people.
Yeah, Craig and Sue, their 50th anniversary, but it's good to talk some sports.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thanks, Mark.
Joel Heikus. Next up will be Jamie Lill, Otter girls tennis coach. And again, the Coaches Show brought to you by the Viking Cafe. We'll come back after this break.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe, with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Chevy Truck Month is back at Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls. To celebrate, customers can take advantage of finance offers like 2.9% APR, price reductions, trade assistance, customer cash, and more. Contact the sales team for information and visit the Minnesota Motor Company website to view their impressive inventory. Together, let's drive.
Minnesota Motor.
South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Lake Region Healthcare is proud to be trusted and recommended by parents and coaches, athletes, and families. Keeping healthcare close to home for local athletes and all their fans. Find us online at lrhc.org.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton. There's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls and Grand Forks.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Welcome back to the Coaches Show, brought to you by the Viking Cafe in downtown Fergus Falls. And I got my Viking Cafe mug here with some coffee.
Nice.
They provide breakfast.
Yes.
And this is really awesome. So a $25 gift certificate. That'd be a nice breakfast or lunch. If you text 321-1926, Dave Bishop is going to draw a winner here in a little bit. We're going to talk some Otter girls tennis. And I'm joined by head coach Jamie Lill. And wow, this is a fun team, isn't it?
This is an amazing team. Yes.
You guys are undefeated right now. And I'm just looking at some of the teams you've taken down this far.
Yes.
Pretty pumped about the season to date?
Yes. So far, so good. At 15-0, you can't really complain about a whole lot, I guess. And honestly, this week was a huge week for us. We had 4 matches. We got 4 wins this week, and we were 3 for 3 on rain delays this week, too.
Yeah,
Every day we had a week.
Yeah, talk about the first one.
I will.
Brainerd. Yeah.
Brainerd, this was the biggest match for us of the week because they are in the CLC, and we are still fighting for that CLC championship. And we knew it would be a good match, and we went to Brainerd, and we got the matches rolled out, and about an hour into match play, the rains came. So we had to pause everybody, get their scores, head into the school for about an hour and a half. And then as we're about ready to go again, a lightning strikes. So, you got 30 minutes then. We finally get everybody back on, and then the sun sets. So we're trying to get their lights to work. And we've got 8 matches going on, 7 varsity matches that we have to slide onto 4 courts where there's lights. So we had every delay possible, but we got it in and we got it done. And the girls were amazing with just sticking to it and staying focused with all that chaos happening.
What time did you end? What time did you finish up?
Oh, well, we got home at midnight.
Okay,
so we actually got done about 9:30 or so, grabbed some food, and headed home.
All right. Talk about that Ruby Ellison doubles team and also had a great match. And Hattie and your daughter Ashton, they all continue to play well. Talk about their game.
Awesome. So, yeah, the top of our lineup won against Brainerd, and Ruby is kind of that person that she's awesome. She's on our team because sometimes teams are afraid of her, which is they probably should be. So that's great. Ruby went out. She started a little slow that day. She actually was down 0-3, and you can see that didn't really turn out real well after that because she won 12 of the next 13 games and just kind of handled her business. But she's so athletic. She gets to every ball. She's so frustrating to play in that way because everything you can hit what you think is a winner, it's going to come back, and it's probably going to have a winner touch on it too. So she did a good job of regrouping there and getting that match. And then Ashton and Hattie, what Brainerd did, and I kind of suspected they threw out some of their best singles to put in to make a good number 1 doubles to try to get at us. And while it stunned Ashton and Hattie a little bit right away, they found themselves down 1-4 in that first set.
Doesn't happen very often for those guys.
Doesn't happen very often, but then they won, 12 of the next 14 games and just rolled through the rest of the match. So that was good to see them kind of regroup. And it's hard when you're at the top there and they haven't had a lot of close matches, Ruby or our one-dubs. So it's kind of remembering, oh, yeah, we can't make those simple mistakes because this level of play makes us pay for that. So they did a really good job of turning those things around and awesome wins for them at the top.
Okay. How about the rest of the dubs and the singles? It just, yeah.
Okay. So the twins, or Carson and Dylan, at second doubles played what is oftentimes Brainerd's number one doubles team.
Sure.
So very good team. And they ended up losing it in 3 sets. There's a tie break, and it was, 6-7, 6-4, 6-2, but a good battle. Just a little bit too much power for Carson and Dylan, I think, at that point. But a great match. And we'll go ahead and talk about Layla and Allie in the singles side of things. Layla was a tight, like a 7-6, 6-4 loss. She was right there the whole time, battling it out. Allie had a 3-setter also. And so our other wins came at 4th singles and 3 doubles. And one thing we talked about a lot this week is that this is a team win. So awesome for our team, because guess what? Signe won at 4th singles in a tight 3-setter. Of course, with all the drama, teams tied 3-3.
Yeah.
She's still on the court under the lights. Everybody's cheering. But, if Signe didn't have Allie and Layla playing above her, she can't get that win. So Allie and Layla are just as responsible, and Ruby, for Signe getting that win. And same thing with doubles. We had Kaya Ness and Ella Black come back and win a 3-setter. So just great tennis all around, and great team tennis, understanding like you might not be in the exact spot you want that night, but it's helping the team get the job done.
As a coach, having that depth is massive, isn't it?
Oh, it's amazing. And honestly, we have 8 girls who are pretty much in our lineup every day. But after that, we can depending what the other team looks like. There's a lot of girls who can step into that role and take on at the bottom of the lineup for us, which is so awesome to have. And just also, we have some people that sometimes can't play all the time. We've got some injuries that we're just kind of babysitting a little bit. So just being able to fill somebody in is so helpful.
All right. And then Ricori. Yeah, go and talk about that, the match against Ricori.
Well, the match where we pulled all the kids from school, found out it was pouring in Ricori, and lots of changes of plans. So we got on the interstate eventually, knowing we were either going to Ricori or trying to find some indoor space. And we ended up finding some indoor courts in Sartell. So we routed the bus there and went there. And honestly, the girls just took care of business. We were kind of expecting that. Singles all rolled through. Our third doubles had a tighter match for us. Annie Proudfoot and Siri Antonison Brown stepped in that day for that, but they ended up getting the win, so we got the 7-0 sweep, and that's what we were expecting that day.
There's something called the Gumby theory. People some are too young to know what a Gumby is, but remember that thing you can kind of shape.
I'm not too young. I know Gumby.
Yeah, I know you got that, but it's like, that's been your team, like having to go and play indoor like that, or shifting gears and playing late under the lights. But what is it like to go outdoor, indoor like that?
They're being great at being flexible, so that's great for the girls. And honestly, this year it's happened twice where we've moved a regular season match indoors because of weather, and it's never happened before in my 13 years.
Having to go indoors.
Never doing that for a regular match. We just reschedule or whatever. So the convenience of it is pretty good, but also, we don't get to go indoors until we make it so far in playoffs. And this is the site that we would be at. So our girls are getting to see what it's like to play with a short curtain behind you and the lighting and everything. So it's turned out very nicely, because now the girls who have never been there before have gotten to see and experience and play in that indoor setting. And obviously the weather's a lot better indoors, but the backdrop is closer. And so our lob game is a tricky thing, because we could get pushed into the walls a lot. There's not as much room. So really, all in all, good that we get to go experience that and let them see what that looks like.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, even though you play there in the playoffs, that you do play outside, but you never do play indoors.
Right, we don't. And honestly, it's kind of like home courts for most of our CLC people. They just hop on those courts anytime the weather's. So it's been nice that we've gotten to do it, because we're kind of the outsider in that regard for part of the CLC. But definitely a good thing when you can get rid of the wind and rain on those days and experience that.
So where do you, as far as areas of improvement, you're undefeated right now. I don't believe in jinxes, by the way, Jamie.
Well,
There's
that's
no
good.
such thing.
That's good. We don't want to talk about. Yeah.
So, but where would you like to see areas of improvement, even though, because you always want to be pressing more?
Always. And we stress with the girls, no matter what a match looks like, if you're down 0-5 or up 0-5, there's something you can be working on. And like with Ashton and Hattie, a lot of time it's keeping things clean. so that when we have a great team playing against us, if we're not hitting the cross court or down the line enough, if we're letting their net play or dictate play, they're going to punish you. And they started to see that a little bit the other day, and then they clean it up. But we need to remember we got to be clean all the time. And I think just for our newer players and the younger girls who are filling in those spots that aren't quite so set, just seeing them all keep striving to get a little stronger, a little more consistency in there. Great group of girls, always working hard, but just really listening and dialing in on what it is that helps them take that next step. So we can solidify some strength at the bottom of that lineup.
Yeah.
It's a big thing for us.
Talk about your JV, and just numbers and how that's going.
Yeah, it's going awesome. And we have about 38 girls out right now in our high school. And for the first year in many years, we have a middle school program. So now we've got them doing their own separate thing with aged kids, which is amazing. Got a new coach, Jake Kringen came in, and it's awesome. And then for the high school, we got Norm Newell and Jesse Schneeberger assisting me. And it's a little bit hard because even with the 8 courts we have divided at Kennedy, that's still too many to play a lot of singles anytime. But it's really a great problem to have. And we manage to function. Some days we'll take more or less on different courts and work on when we're working on different things. But awesome numbers. We've got great kids.
Yeah.
So.
As we kind of wrap up here too, you look forward to Perham and then Sauk Rapids Rice and then you got your multiple schools coming in on Friday. Pardon me. Yeah. Talk about this week. What's taking place.
Yep. It's actually kind of our slowest week. We have 2 matches.
Yeah.
We've had 5 most weeks so far. So we'll definitely take that. And so we'll get to celebrate both CLC, both very tough matches. These are 2 we've been really waiting for. Alec is one of our matches this week, and we're the 2 that are kind of rising to the top, it looks like. So we get to play them twice, 2 Thursdays in a row.
Yeah.
But it'll be good to see them, and we get to celebrate our seniors that night and have a home match and all the exciting things that come along with homecoming week. So it should be a good week, but 2 very tough matches for us.
Okay. And then to wrap things up too, can you give our listeners and viewers a little update on your daughter, Ashton? The community's been praying for her with some medical things. She's such a great kid. But
she is. We like her.
Yeah.
So Ashton, about 2 weeks ago, we found out that Ashton has a mass on her brain, and we've just kind of been going with the flow ever since then. Seeing lots of specialists. She started some medication to try to shrink the mass, and she's not experiencing terrible side effects. She's able to play tennis and go to school right now. And so we're super thrilled about that. And this week we see some other specialists for like a neurosurgeon to see if surgery is an option for us or what we need to do there, and a neuro-ophthalmologist, because honestly, she shouldn't be able to see right now very well. And praise the Lord, she's able to do a lot of the things that she shouldn't be able to right now. So
yeah, I know a lot of people are praying for Ashton, and
we appreciate that.
You
so
guys,
much.
And we'll keep doing that, too. She's a great kid, and I know it's got to be tough as parents, to go through this together. But we'll keep praying. So
thank you. She's got a great attitude about it. It's we're just praying for the best.
Yeah. Well, great season so far, and it's fun to roll in. Our daughter plays volleyball, and then see the tennis courts filled and things going on. And I got to just say this. I went to the volleyball game the other night, and I think you and Ashton are out there hitting balls.
Yeah.
I looked way down on the court, and I go, it's what it takes, doesn't it?
Yep. After practice, she's like, Mom, my short balls are not going well. Can we go through a few more? I'm like, yeah, I guess practice isn't over yet. So
yeah, no, that's awesome. So,
yes.
Well, thanks a ton.
Yes.
And, just hope you have a great meet on Friday. So,
awesome. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, it's been good to sit in for Craig Olson. You had to put up with me. And Dave Bishop does a great job. And, this is super fun to kind of give away a $25 gift certificate. And so, Jamie, I want you to help me with this as well, because you'll know who this person is.
I already saw this.
Yeah,
and I know this person is watching right now. So.
Yeah. So, why don't you read who the winner is here, Jamie?
So the Viking Cafe winner for today, and I know you're watching, Miss Jody Fullhart.
All right.
So congratulations to Jody.
So Jody, is it going to be Hattie and Eli, or Hattie and Eli and Howard? Is it going to be everybody? So I didn't mean to put any pressure on, but it's pretty awesome to be able to have that.
Perfect pick for today.
Yeah, super good. So, but Yeah, tune in next Saturday as well. And Jamie, it's a big week of homecoming too, isn't it, for the kids?
Yep, lots of excitement. We've got a couple seniors doing the coronation thing and freshmen, just all the fun.
Yep, it is. So, and Dave Bishop graduated in the 90s. And were you ever up for King, Dave? No. You weren't? Okay, all right. Neither was I. But I was in a school of 500 kids. It doesn't matter. So, but hey, thanks to the Viking Cafe for hosting the show today. And we appreciate that. And Dave Bishop, our studio engineer. And everybody have a great week.
Thank you for joining us for the News Talk 1250 KBRF Coaches Show, presented by the Viking Cafe and brought to you by the Minnesota Motor Company, Lake Region Healthcare, Nelson Auto Center, Quality Toyota, and Running Stitches.